Hello, we are doing our presentation on Clique Coffee Bar just down the street from the school, and I'm Andre Sullivan, and this is the rest of my team.
I'm Dan.
Hello, Jeremy.
I'm Maddie. Hello.
I'm Joseph.
I'm Julia.
I'm Monica.
So as I stated earlier, we did our social media campaign on Clique Coffee Bar, and we outlined the SWOT analysis, the objectives, and some of the campaign strategies that we want to use for Clique. So to start things off, I want to talk about the SWOT analysis. Their strengths lie very much in their social media. They they like to use Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and their website. That's where the social media is generated. We found that their strengths. We found they were clear and concise, particularly with Facebook. They like to use humor and community. They engage the community as well as they use events through Facebook. Twitter, they link it to Instagram, so we found some strength there. We found Instagram, they were very artistic with their posts and pictures and some quotes. Also in Instagram, we found that they shows more food pictures as well as their staff. Some of their weaknesses, however, to the entire social media packages, some of the venues are sporadic with their posts or lack consistency. In some of the other venues, there's some low-level engagement. So we just, not all of the venues are like that. That's just kind of the general theme of what we found. And some opportunities that we found to improve the overall social media platform. We found a big one to be Hootsuite, which is it is a social media software program that can be used online, and it combines all of the platforms into one so that it creates timed postings, and rather than having to post 4 different times to 4 different platforms, you can create one post that goes out to all 4 platforms. So we just, and also we thought about promotion for new products. He has also got a new menu coming out, so being able to promote that is an opportunity. And he wants deeper involvement with the community and more engagement as well. Just lastly, with the SWOT analysis, the threats which pertain to what's outside of Big B, we found that chains such as Starbucks or Big B Coffee, which is also just down the road, they are a threat to Clique, especially because Starbucks is very good with their social media. Also, local venues, Madcap and Roosters, they're right there, and so it's kind of hard to draw on the audience. They find it hard to draw in people who are going to other places, restaurants, and they leave without looking up to see Clique. So another threat is customer loyalty. That was something of an issue that we found. And I touched on this a little bit. Their posting can be improved, but overall, Clique is just in a really bad location. The owner thought he could draw in more people, but with the development of where's different restaurants and plazas, it's been harder for them to actually draw people. And so next we want to talk about the situation analysis, and just we want to cover our goals and the objectives that we want through this project.
Okay, I'm talking about the situational analysis and kind of just what we walked into with Clique. And first of all, we observed on all their social media sites and things, they have good pictures of coffee, and it's very artistic and welcoming and really friendly. And it's easy to maneuver around a lot of their sites. And so their problem, we decided, is not like the frequency of their posting, more of the content that is being posted. It isn't based on situational events or doesn't have any like promotions or things for ways for customers to get involved really easily. So there's not a lot of traction in the social media because no one can really interact with it. They just kind of look at it, like it, and keep scrolling. Steve is the owner of Clique Coffee, and he runs most of their social media sites as well as his son Caleb. But it's mostly gone into Steve's lap, and he has kind of admitted that he doesn't feel like he does it well or that Clique is really succeeding in the realm of social media. And so it's our job to create a campaign that will make their social media really successful and get them more customer loyalty and interaction with their customers. And next we'll talk about the objectives.
Yeah, so I just wanted to state our overall campaign objectives first. And those would be, And those would be first, that Clique has the opportunity to improve their social media presence in order to increase customer loyalty and engagement, and then our overall campaign goal being to create a cohesive theme and consistent schedule for postings in order to increase sales. So the two major objectives are that we would increase loyalty, and increase overall engagement. So Steve, in general, longs to create more loyal Clique customers. Just in discussing with Steve how beneficial his promotions have been in the past, he says that a lot of times people will use a coupon and then that doesn't necessarily create a loyal customer out of them. So we would like to utilize social media in order to create more loyalty, hopefully with just increasing engagement and having people responding to his postings. So he would like to make his postings more consistent. As Steve said, we must post frequently because people are sporadic. So essentially that means that our social media campaign, with the utilization of Hootsuite, then we can send out scheduled posts in order for him to be more consistent. Measurable goals would be that we would increase the number of likes, comments, shares, and retweets on all of the social media platforms. That overall the number of customers that come in and speak to something they saw on social media would be increased, and hopefully that ultimately results in an increase in sales. So we also ended up reaching demographic. We want to end up reaching the demographic of Clique. Steve feels that the majority of people who come in are either students or business people. So then just looking at a Pew Research study, we wanted to figure out which platform then is the most effective for each age group. So 82% of students use Facebook, while 79% of businessmen. But dissimilarly, on Instagram, you have about 53% of students and then only 25% of business people. So we want to kind of reach those markets accordingly and have the Instagram be more geared towards students, while the Facebook and Twitter posts are more general and reaching both demographics.
All right, so next up is the campaign plan and the implementations. So one of Clique's main problems is that through all of their social media platforms, it's inconsistent, and you can tell that many different people run these sites. So between Steve and Caleb, and I know that he had mentioned like another barista. So we looked at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the website itself. Steve had discussed how Facebook is one that he feels is getting the one that doesn't have the most attention. So one thing that we had mentioned was giving it kind of like a status a day, like a quote of the day type of thing. So in the binder, you will see an example of a fun, like a suggestion that they could use with like a little photo. It says, it's National Teacher Appreciation Day. Teachers come in and get a free latte. That's just a suggestion that they could use. And along with Twitter, it's not necessarily used often. It's one that they could be linking with like is it Hootsuite? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but they can link Facebook and Twitter, and they too could use the Facebook status in with the Twitter account.
As far as Instagram goes, we really want to keep that artistic feel, but we want to make it a little more practical, especially for students. We want him to let them know like actually what's going on. In the binder, they have an artistic photo, but it's also promotional. It says, come in and try our new seasonal latte. First comment will receive a free latte with their Tuesday morning, and that's pretty exciting. For their website, that should be the most comprehensive social media platform that they have. It should have a lot of their postings as far as events and like just pretty much everything, because they're going directly to that website, so they want to know specifically about Clique. So that's where they can put out the most content. And the last thing we've already talked about a little bit is just Hootsuite, and that it's an online application. It creates a dashboard and with a schedule, so that'll make it easier for him, because one problem that we saw was a lack of cohesion with that. He's a little haphazard in the way that he posts and the frequency with which he does that.
So lastly, kind of in conclusion, we just wanted to kind of go over the things that we had started out and what we had started our whole campaign all about. Like the two main things was increasing customer loyalty and increasing customer engagement. So by our implementations, we wanted to make sure that those two questions were definitely answered through what we had concluded. So all of us were able to meet with Steve personally in Clique Coffee Shop, and we were able to ask him a lot of questions, which was a really good deal for just our part of the project. So just being able to see how who runs their campaign, if he thinks social media is affecting his coffee shop, and if new people are able to come in due to his social media campaign. So that was really good for us to hear. And we kind of concluded that he really had a pretty good head on his shoulders as far as what he knew what he was doing with social media. Really, he found that his audience was business people, not necessarily students. So a lot of the business people were coming around from the area around his coffee shop, not necessarily like from a long distance. They were just coming from a little break for a little coffee. And so he found that really his posts on Facebook and Instagram weren't getting a lot of attention from those kind of people. They were just kind of there, and people were just being able to see them. So it was kind of unfortunate. So he had started some new things. So he wanted to start an email campaign. So he started like sending emails to regular customers like once a month, just about kind of the new things that were happening with his coffee shop, maybe Friday night music, and anything else that he needed to include it as well. So that was a really good opportunity for him to just be able to connect a little bit more with his regular customers, but also add incentives for those regular customers to bring in new people as well. So yeah, like we said, we wanted to make sure that we were good with the loyalty and also engagement. So with our implementation, as far as just what we wanted to do with new social media, so in consistency, also credibility, and also content in his posts. We felt like whatever he did, that he would be able to get maybe a different audience as well. So if he's focused so much on business people, he could actually get a lot of the younger people too, by just being able to be more focused on his social media campaign by being consistent. And one of the things as well is just like even the things he's already doing with Instagram, just posting a lot more artwork rather than pointless things. So people are really attracted to things that are visible and that they can see and that they'll be attracted to. So all around, we found like our campaign would be beneficial to Clique Coffee Shop. Obviously, we don't know if they'll take that route. We don't really know how they're going to be able to implement his plans and how they will work for him, but we really hope that all in all that it works out for him, as far as he would be able to get more people in his coffee shop due to his campaign and his social media. And I guess we wish him the best of luck, and that is our project. So,
Namaste.
Sayonara.